Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaganalita Sri Visakanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय गुरुदेव welcome all of you after Diwali festival. I think everybody has celebrated very well Diwali festival. Hare Krishna. Today's agenda will talk a little bit about Deepavali festival, how we need to celebrate just for 5 minutes, and then we go to the recap of what we discussed in the chapter from so far, and then we go to the sloka from 1.11 onwards. Okay, first of all, Utsav. Utsav means why do we celebrate Utsav festival? In Sanskrit, it is called Utsav. Ut means remove, Sav means miseries. Whatever miseries that I have it, please remove it. That's what removal of miseries, that's what we celebrate as a festival. Meaning of festival is it is win over bad, good and bad, dharma, adharma. When the war happens, dharma is the victory. So for that victorious thing, we'll be celebrating as a festival Utsav. That's what we are celebrating. Plus, coming to, we have four yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Right now we are in Kali Yuga. In Satya Yuga, this bad and good people, means the demonic quality and the divine qualities, these two people used to live in two different planets. And next come to Treta Yuga, when Sri Ramji was there. In Treta Yuga, these two quality, the bad and good people, demonic and divine people, they used to live in different cities. Ravan in Sri Lanka and Sri Ram is in Ayodhya. Like that, they used to live in different cities. And coming to Dwapara Yuga, when Sri Krishna was there, but both the people used to live in the same city in the same family also. Like say Kauravas and Pandavas, they used to live in the same. They are in the same family, then same home. They used to live. But coming to Kali Yuga, all the bad and good, both the qualities are within ourselves. So to come out of the means every year, what we need to do is we have to measure ourselves. How much bad qualities I'm taking out and how much good I'm earning more. So that if the balance is more, then we have to celebrate this festival like the Diwali, crackers and all this. That we need to celebrate. Every year, every Diwali, please try to remember this and try to measure yourself how much good qualities you are acquiring and how much bad qualities you are taking out from you. Those things we need to measure and that we celebrate as Utsav. Then there will be a meaning in that. So coming to the firecrackers, Each and everyone has got some significance. Means the way we have to understand every object is I think, something like Krishna conscious, God conscious that we need to think of every object that we do. Suppose in firecrackers, we have the rocket, so that uh, we we light it and it goes in the sky and it goes there. That indicates our material success. Means we go to a, we go in a job and we get a promotions, so promotions, we go to very high level. That means materially we are connected with that. And all this here, not only job or anything, so anything that may go, but at the same time, at the top, we have to carry along with us the God also with us. Means whatever we do, it is that because of you, I'm able to do all these things. Those kind of thought we should have. Then that kind of success. And at the same time, otherwise it may fall down at any time. Next come to sparklers, so that we do. It will have it looks very nice in the beginning and in the middle and at the end. Once it is done, all the beauty has gone, and we have to pull it up. It's our body also like that. At the youth, young and youth, at that time looks very nice. And once we get into old age, and so that body we have to it has to be disposed. It looks very ugly also. That's what the sparklers. That means concentrate more on eternal thing, that is Atma, this soul, not on the body. That sparklers will give that indication to us. Okay, next come to atom bomb that we played. So in the bomb, see, it is very painful for ears to hear and even for the heart also. So sometimes uh, we may say hard words to others, which are with uncontrolled anger. We are not able to control our anger and we put a lot of hard words to the others. Just think about this bomb, how hard it is to hear the sound and all these things. And that's the same thing, if you're putting hard words to others, it will really impact uh, their other people's heart also. That. So just by seeing the bomb that we put it, we have to think about all these things. And then a laddi, 1,000 wala and 1,000 wala plus 1,000 crackers that we put it. Okay, in the picture it shows that. So we may get a lot of material criticism with a lot of people, and we also do that criticism to others. So those things will pass away. We have to concentrate on the good things, and also in every person, bad and good qualities will be there. We have to appreciate his good qualities, and we have to take them out, take that for good qualities. And we can, if possible, we can tell them the bad things, maybe to correct if he is a person like that. So if so many bad things may come up to us, and a lot of criticism may come to us, but we have to continue our good work. So that's what it indicates that. So then come to flower pots. Flower pots empties itself completely for pleasure of others. So at the end, it is empty totally. That means for the pleasure of others, you have to live for others. Means for helping or helping them to grow in a spiritual way, material way, whatever it is. So we have to help them. We have to make ourselves empty. Means instead of accumulating all the properties and all those things, we have to make it empty. So that's what it indicates. And ghee lamps. Ghee lamp, it is made of earth. It is made of earth, clay. So our body also made of Panchabhuta. It's also made of air, water, ether, fire, all these things. So five elements are there. So this is going to pass again. So that's what the light that indicates so Atma that goes to the different lamp. As long as the oil is there, he is there in that. So that it will shine it. And our main intention is we have to give light to others, light to others. That they're like a lamp. We have to go. We have to give that knowledge to others. Those things we have to cultivate ourselves. So like this, the Diwali festival, whatever item you touch, so we should have this kind of uh, thinking on that each and every object that we do. That is the way. So it is the process of beginning of the process in the bhakti yoga. That's what I said. So every object that you see, you have to connect to the Lord. So that's what we have to plan it. Any festival that you see, so just think about connecting everything to the Lord. Then there is a lot of chances for getting mukti and all this. So instead of concentrating only on the body level, so concentrate on the Atma level. That's what I'm just trying to explain about Deepavali. Some people have missed the last week class. That's the reason I'm just trying to put in all together in brief format. Okay. Then we go to the chapter one. That's what we are discussing. Chapter one. It is divided into four parts in the Bhagavad Gita. That is first 10 slokas. They talk about preparation for the war. Preparation for the war. How do we prepare for the war? In a practical life, if any project is given, what are things that we need to do? The content, everything will prepare it first. In a practical way, we have to take it the Bhagavad Gita in that way. And the second one is victory signs for Pandavas. There are about some victory signs are there. This is what we are going to discuss today. Krishna on Pandava's side and Lakshmi. Lakshmi means is a goddess of fortune. And the location of the war, that is Dharmakshetra. And Hanuman on the flag, that we'll talk about that when we come to that sloka. And the symbol of Vishnu, transcendental conscience, and charity of Agni Deva. These things we'll discuss today. The victory signs. That is 11th sloka to 20th sloka that is covered like that. And then Krishna as Bhakta Vatsala. You can see here, Krishna took the job of driver job, the chariot for Arjuna. That means if you surrender to God, if you start serving to the God in a sincere way, and Krishna also, he is also so pleased to serve his devotees. He will come to any level. Now here you can see he came to Arjuna as a chariot. You can imagine how much, any level he also trying to serve the sincere devotees. That's what it indicates here, Bhaktavatsala. And then fourth point is in this Arjuna's doubts means how can I kill all my. There are five points are there: compassion, enjoyment, sinful. Compassion means is it not so? How can I kill the other party people? Not only my brothers or my Krishna Pita Maha and all the relatives are there at the same time. Friends also there, and also power of Sena is there. So how can I kill them? That compassion is feeling it, and enjoyment in the sense, if I kill all those people, I don't have anyone but to show my property or anything, whatever victory that I have it. How can I enjoy all these things? And sinful reaction by killing them, shall I not get any sin? And the destruction of family traditions for all the men are died. So then women may get a chance to do the wrong things. and unnecessary progeny may get developed. That's what. So traditions of family traditions may be affected. And finally, he's not able to take any decision, what to do, what not to do, and all these things. That's what. This is the one. And a simple one sentence, if you think about this, the chapter one, it is in a one sentence, or what we can say is, you take any practical project in your office. First of all, we define what the problem is. Means what needs to be done. That has to be defined. Entire chapter one, what we are trying to do is we are defining the problem. Arjuna has Arjuna has taken the role on behalf of us, and he he put all the reasons. He has put all the doubts. With that, from second chapter onwards, Krishna will answer all these questions. He took around 17 chapters to answer these five questions in a different fashions or different ways. That will when we come to those chapters, we'll discuss that. First of all, just remember, chapter one is nothing but problem definition for the project. Okay, it's a Bhagavad Gita project that we are doing. Okay, next, in a different way that we can talk about one. So chapter one is divided into 1.1 to 127, one section, preparation for the war in a different way, that 1 to 11, and 12 to 20 is the signs of victory, and 21 to 27 is Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. That's what we discussed. And section 2, that is Arjuna's 5 reasons, 5 doubts that he has not to fight, and 28 sloka to 46 sloka. Compassion, enjoyment, sin, destruction of family traditions, and ingestion. This is what we put in a chart to make you understand clearly on this. Okay. Next, just to recap what we discussed in that 2 to 11, that is the preparation for the war. First sloka, Dhritarashtra started. He's a blind person. He started it. That is, in the beginning itself, I told that he's a blind, spiritually blind, and materially also is blind. So we are also spiritually blind. We need this kind of knowledge in Kali Yuga, especially. That's the reason the Bhagavad Gita started with a blind person. Dhritarashtra Vavasa, it says. Okay, and then second sloka, we started the Duryodhana approached the Dronacharya to tell about how the Pandavas army is there and how our army is there. That's what he approached with Dronacharya, that is his guru. And he explained about Pandavas army, how they are, and from 3 to 6 slokas, he explained about that to Dronacharya. And 7 to 9 slokas, he explained about his army, Kauravas army, how they are, who are the main persons in that. That's what we talked about all these things in the 2 weeks back. Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, all these great personalities, Maharadis, we discussed about this one. And then 10 to 11, comparison. Comparison in the sense, so Kauravas have 11 Akshauganis, Sena, and the Pandavas have only 7. So we are so great. That's what he's finally trying to boost up. Dronacharya is telling that. And at the same time, Bhishma is the older person, so we need to give support to him. We have to support him. That's what he's saying in the slokas. Now, from 11 onwards, we'll discuss now. So it is in a different way. Duryodhana mentioned as a king in 1.3 sloka, and points out Drona's mistake. Drona's mistake means gurus. Because he trained all the people, the Dronacharya, guru. He trained the opposition party also. Pandavas also he has given the training. So that's what he's pointing it out. They are also your students. So don't be compassion on them. That's what he's trying to indicate that. And mentioning about Bhima and Arjuna, how they are great, and all those things he was talking about all these things. Okay. And then And also some practical application point of view in the bottom, you can see why Bhishma not saved. This point also we discussed last 2 weeks back. That means Bhishma, he's a Krishna Pratigna, he did and he is supporting to whoever is sitting in the Hastinapur, that's Simhasan. So he has to support. That's what how he has taken it. Um, but why he was not? He was also not saved. The reason is Dronacharya and Bhishma also why they were not saved is they were not opposing when Draupadi was disrobed. Because Krishna is tried to allow them to do some mistakes. So because of that, they'll be punished in this war. Okay? And then now come to our text 12 to 20, signs of victory of Pandavas. These points we'll discuss now, one by one sloka. We'll read and we'll discuss about that. So one is Krishna's personal presence confirms victory and the goddess of fortune. So that means Lakshmi Devi is there. And the venue, that is Dharmakshetra. Kurukshetra is nothing but Dharmakshetra. So the word also started the sloka with dharma means who is going to win. That sloka itself indicates the first sloka. And then the fourth one is Hanumanji on the Arjuna's flag. That we'll discuss when we come to the sloka. There is a story behind that. Two stories are there regarding that. Hanumanji coming on Arjuna's flag. Okay. Next we go to and the symbol of Vishnu. These things we'll discuss. Without any delay, we'll go to this sloka number 12. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasya Sanjanayan Harsham Urubuddha Pitamaha Simhanadam Vinodjyochai Sankham Datmau Pratapavam. Any volunteers to read a translation? Any volunteer to read the translation?
Then Bhisma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his counsel very loudly, like the sound of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy.
See here. So Duryodhana is talking to Dronacharya, and also Bhishma is nearby, and he's also listening. So then he thought, theoretical is okay. Let's do some practical. That's what Bhishma is doing it. I don't want all this kind of theory. We know everything. Who is opposite side, who is going to win also he knows. So let's do the practical. Anyway, we came here all the way. So we have to fight anyway. So then to give a joy, okay, I'm ready. Bhishma is a old person. You just imagine here. Just like that sloka and reading translation are not the one. We have to apply in our life also. Bhishma, at the war happened, he is about 180 years of age, 182 or something like that. So Arjuna is about 89, and Dharmaraj is about 91, like that. He's almost double for the age of this Pandavas. At that age, he's so dynamic. So that's what we have to learn from this one also. Because he started the conch shell blowing in the beginning than anyone there. He looks so dynamic. Even our old age also, my life is gone like that. We should not think about it. We should be dynamic all the time, serving the God for serving the God. All this we should be so dynamic to do that. Also, we'll do a lot of exercise and all those things. We should have a thought like in the old days. I should not be dependent on some other. persons, I should be able to serve the Lord at that time. Instead of people serving me, I should be able to serve the Lord at the old days when it comes to me. This kind of thought we could get when we think about this. Okay. So he sounds like a lion. So giving Duryodhana, because Duryodhana is talking so much with Dronacharya, his guru. So just to make him a joy, so he started going the council. He started that. So every sloka, just think about the practical way how we can apply it. Then it will be meaningful for us to learn all these things. Okay. Let's go to the next sloka. Tasya sanjanayan harsh. 13th sloka. Tata sankacha bhiryacha panavanaka bhumukhaha सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्तां सशब्दस्तु मलोभवत्. Someone read translation?
After that, the conch shells, bugles, trumpets, drums, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous.
See here, when Bhishma started council, and along with that, so there are a lot of drums are there, horns are there, all those things. They started all the Kauravas. They started all this. They are doing all those things. It looks so. Uh, and the Pandavas, they blew the horn. So he gives for every consul he will give the name. But for Kauravas, he did not mention any kind of name. There is no significance to that. That's what they indicate. And 14th one. Tata Svetairya Ayuryukke Mahati Stito Madhava Pandavachaiva Divyau Sankau Yadatmatuhu.
On the other hand, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental counsels.
Just see here. Here it says, in the sloka it says Madhava. The third line in the sloka, Madhava. Madhava means, so he's the husband of the goddess of fortune. This itself indicates who is going to win. Goddess of fortune is there along with Pandavas. Means every word we have to see that Madhava. Okay, those kind of information should try to understand that. And also, here you can see the sloka started with. So by seeing the sloka, I just remember that I'm trying to recollect with our Hollywood and Bollywood. What normally they do, suppose introducing any hero or heroine, especially in Bollywood cinemas. First of all, I'm just taking one scene. From a car, the heroine or hero will come out. First, they will show opening the door, car door, and show their feet or the shoes or anything, and then their spectacles. If a person like Rajinikanth throwing the cigarette and that they will show, then finally they show the face. Because they have derived from this all this Bhagavad Gita and all these things. So everything is there. Whatever you want to learn, whatever material or spiritual, all the knowledge is there in Bhagavad Gita. So here he is talking about chariot, great chariot, horses, white horses he has shown first, and the chariot. But in English it is coming like that. But in the sloka you see, first he's talking about white horses, and then the chariot, and then Krishna and Arjuna. That's what he's introducing like that. So we have to imagine like that. Once we this is loka, chariot and all those things, to remember of Hollywood and Bollywood kind of thing, just to correlate. So many things are there to learn practically in our life. So this kind of we have to analyze this kind of way. Okay. Then we'll talk about this other constants, names, and all these things in the next coming slokas. Text 15. पाञ्चजन्यं हृषीकेशो देवदत्तं धनञ्जयः सौम्यं दद्मौ महाशङ्खं भीमकर्मावृकोदरः. Someone please this translation.
Then Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchjanya. Arjuna blew his the Devdatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Pondaram.
Yeah. Here we have to talk about the Panchajanya. Krishna's the conch shell is a Panchajanya. Natarajan Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So can you tell the story about Panchajanya, how he got it, and there's Sandipani Muni, so from there he got it. If you want to tell, you can tell that story.
As far as I remember, I will tell Prabhu.
Okay, sure.
But before this, can you go to 14th sloka, Prabhu? I will also tell another story there.
Sure.
Yeah. So here you say there is a chariot, right? The Shandani means chariot, right? So this chariot was donated to Arjuna by Agni Dev. Okay, there was a time when there is a forest called Khandava forest, where there were a lot of problems were there in that forest. So nobody could go there and do tapas or anything. In those days, you know how people go to secluded place like forest and do tapas, right? So they were not able to go there to this forest and do tapas. So what happened was Agni Dev had some problem. Okay, so he was not able to digest. There were a lot of people who do tapas and they put lot of ghee and everything. He was unable to digest. So he went to Lord Vishnu and said, I am really, really not able to digest all this food and give it back to you. So can you please do something? So then Krishna, what he did is he took him to this Khandava forest, and then he said, just devour this forest. No, just fire out this forest, and you should be good enough, back to your original state. So what he did is he finally fired all the whole forest, and then after that his sometimes we get indigestion, right? Same thing happened to Agni Dev. So Agni Dev also had that indigestion issue. So Krishna relieved him from that indigestion by going and burning, asking him to burn this forest called Khandava forest. So when Arjuna helped him, Krishna made Arjuna help Agni do that. So what happened was, after Agni got relieved from all these things, Agni gave a beautiful chariot to as a present to Arjuna. So that's the chariot that we are seeing in the front of the book, in Prabhupada's book, right? So we see this chariot. So that is the chariot.
And also some more points are there. This chariot is it can fly, and it can go in the water. Then on the earth also it will do. So and also we are victorious all the time. So that kind of things are there. And then as Natarajan Prabhu said, so that means there is one I don't remember his name. He was doing tapas for so many years. So they were doing ahuti, ghee. So that's the reason Agni Dev was not able to digest. Then he went to Khandava forest and he wants to. But he tried, but he has it was protected by Indra. Whenever he starts that, Indra is going to put the rain, so he is not able to do that. Then Arjuna put a cover for the rain to not to fall into the forest. So Agni has occupied that. But very good, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Can you recite that other story, Prabhu? I didn't remember. I know a little, but I forgot. So can you do it?
Which one?
Okay, I'll intervene if anything you need. Okay.
The Panchajanya?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. If you want me to tell, I can tell. Otherwise, you can do.
No, you do, Prabhu. You do.
Panchajanya. So this, Krishna and Balaram, they went to a guru to learn. That's, they learned totally 64 vidyas are there. 64 um, 64 kinds of education types are there. Vidya. Like engineering, so many things are there like that. 64 kalas are there totally. So all the 64, they learned in 64 days. Krishna and Balaram. First of all, by now you should have got a doubt. Why Krishna is a Bhagavan? Why he has to go to the Guru and learn all these things? He himself might be knowing everything. Why he has to go to Guru and learn? Anybody wants to answer to that? Krishna is a Bhagavan. He is ultimate. He is Anadi. He knows everything. But why he has to go to a teacher to learn all this education for 64 days in all the 64 education levels? Anybody wants to answer to that? Anybody? Just try. Suppose say, practical life. Just think about a practical life. Cine actors, whatever dress they wear, will try to imitate that. Or political leaders, whatever they do, will try to imitate. So most of the people will do that one. So Krishna, he came as a human form. He himself behaves like a Bhagavan, and he says things he is not required. Other people also may follow the same thing. So that means now we can think about Krishna, Bhagavan. He himself has gone to learn the subject from the Guru. That means the importance of Guru that he is indicating to us, especially in Kali Yuga time. We have to learn the things Guru Mukha, means with the in the presence of Guru, the teacher, we have to learn the things. Just to give it. I'm just giving the examples of cinema field and all those things so that you can remember. Okay. He went to a Guru and 64 days they completed their education. After that, they have to give Guru Dakshina. So Guru knows Sandipani Muni. The Guru is Sandipani Muni. So Guru knows who Krishna is. Then he did not ask for any kind of Guru Dakshina. So what he will ask for the Bhagavan? And then, but his wife, the Guru's wife, Guru Patni, so she wanted something to ask. But only Krishna can give it. That is, they used to have a son, that Sandipani Muni and his wife, the Guru, and Guru Patni, they used to have a son. And he somehow missed, somebody missed some Rakshasa, so to took him away. And they wanted him to come back. He died. So they wanted their son to come back. Ordinary people cannot do that. But
Yeah.
to come
Yeah,
into
correct. That's a very important point. See, if you ask a person who has died, If you want somebody else to bring him back, who can do that? Nobody else can do that like, except Krishna, right?
Right.
So Krishna did that for his spiritual master.
Right. Because Sanjipani Muni, the Guru, he knows who Krishna is. That's the reason. So even Patni also knows about it. That's the reason they wanted to do that kind of thing they want to get from Krishna. So Krishna went there. Krishna went to so where he says he went to a sea. So see, I think they came to know that the particular demon is hiding in the sea, under the sea. So he went to a sea, and there is one Panchajanya council is there. I think they thought he's hiding there. So because he's Shishya means their son. He's that demon is putting that in the council. That's what they're thinking. And finally, they fought with the demon, and finally, they did not find in the council. So he took the council, and then Krishna went to Yamaloka. There he blew the Panchajanya council. So with that blow, Yamadharmaraj came, and he noticed that who Krishna is, and he gave that that son of his guru, and that's what he got it back. That Panchajanya, he got it from there. Actually, it belongs to Vishnu. So this is the story about behind that one. So that is a very divine nature, the Panchajanya thing, kind of thing. So that sound is, it doesn't look like a line or anything. It's like very divine sound. And Arjuna blew his Devadatta, he and Bhima, and so the various sounds. And but it is a terrific for the sounds are terrific for the Kauravas. I mean, whoever is appreciating the divine nature of sound will be very pleasing for them. But who is not interested? So these kind of mantras or whatever it is, so that will be very horrible for them. That's what differences we can see, but good and bad.
So one more point there.
Yes,
Back.
sir.
Yeah, back. Sorry for intervening. Can you go back?
No problem.
Yeah. So there is the word Dhananjaya, right? Dhana means what? Money, right? Lakshmi. So again, as Prabhu pointed out, Dhananjaya, when Arjuna used to go to all directions and he used to conquer everybody. So, and because of that, he had great wealth. That is one point. And as Prabhu said, Dana means Sri, right? Sri Lakshmi. So again, she is with the Pandavas. So if you see in this loka, there are a lot of descriptive names are given. Like the outstanding nature of all these Pandavas are given. So none of these are given when the Kauravas blew the conch shell or whatever. So the Pandavas have all this because Krishna was on their side. And other very important point is the second word there, Panchajanya, Hrishikesho. Hrishikesha means one who is the master of the senses. So the master of the senses is who? Krishna. So he is guiding, because he is the master of the senses, he is guiding Arjuna and the Pandavas in the right direction. Okay, that's another point to remember. Hrishikesha. Hrishikesha, we'll see this word so many times coming in the future. Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So we'll see that word Hrishikesha very many times, very many times. Okay, that I want to remember. I want to remind. Thank you, Prabhu.
Very good, Prabhupada. Thanks for reminding. Rishikesha, that is a very good point. And also in the coming slokas, we will come to Budakesa. Those things are that is for Arjuna. So that also we'll discuss it. And Dhananjaya, very good point, Prabhu. So Dhananjaya means one more point I want to add to that. That is when Dharmaraj was doing that yajna, Rajsu yajna. At that time, they need a lot of money. So for that, Arjuna went to all the places, and so he got the money from all the he fight or whatever it is, he did whatever he did, and he got a lot of money. That's the reason he called as Dhananjaya. And that part will, when he got the flag also, some story is there that I will uh, let you know when the.
Yeah, one more point there, Prabhu. One more thing there on the 14th sloka. Sorry about that. Can you go back? Sorry, 15th sloka. Vrikodhara, right? The word vrika. Vrika means fire. Okay, extremely. When you are really hungry, what happens? Your stomach is like paining, right? That there is a agni, jatar agni in our stomach, and that jatar agni is called vrika. Okay, that is why our food is getting digested. So Bhima had that powerful jatar agni in his stomach, and when he has that vrika burning in his stomach, he wants to eat lot of food. That is why he is called vrikodhara. See, voracious eater. Why? Because that vrika, that fire inside our stomach, is burning and it is digesting all our food. And this is the reason, some people, if you see in this world, they don't have the digesting power. Why? Because this vrika fire is not burning in the stomach. So that happens to some people. I have seen a couple of them. So I just want to point out that.
It's very good point. Sukodhara, and also just think about Bhima. So he's not satisfied with whatever food that you give it. Any amount of food he will take it. But finally, when Kunti, his mother, offers one laddu or any small thing, then only he's satisfied. Then he will do that working and all. So that's what I want to like to share. Okay, sloka 16 to 18. अनंत विजयं राजा कुंती पुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुलः सहदेवश्च सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ काश्यश्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिच्छा पराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयश्च सर्वतः पृथिवीपते पते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः शङ्खान् रुद्मुः पृथक् पृथक्. Some volunteers?
The son of Kunti, blew his counsel, the Anant Vijay, and the Nakula and Sahadev blew the Subhos and Manipushpaka. That great Arthur, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Sikhandi, Drishtadyumna, Virata, and the unconquerable Sati, Drupda, the sons of Draupadi, and the others, O king, such as the son of Subhadra, greatly armed, all blew their respective counsels.
Yeah, he's talking about all the Pandavas, Pandava Sena. So whatever council, he's giving some names to that. And when Kauravas blow the council, he was not giving that any kind of name. That's not those. So they're not that important. That's what it indicates. And here is the talk about Nakula, Sahadeva, and also Kashi Raja, Sikandi, Drishtadyumna, Virata, Satyaki, Drupada, and Draupadi's 5 sons, and Subhadra Tanaya means Abhimanyu. So all these things he's talking about what concept they are doing it. And in the next slides, we have a table format. So which concept which belongs to whom, that's what I'm going to display.
Yeah, Prabhu, one more point here. It says Prithvi Pate, right? And if you see the translation, it says, "O king." So Sanjaya is narrating this scene from the war scene to Dhritarashtra, right? When he said Prithvi Pate, our acharyas translate that as like like why he said Prithvi Pate, because Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra that, "O king, you made a bad decision, okay, made a bad decision and brought and you have brought about the calamity of your whole dynasty. So that is the significance on this Prithivipate. They are, the Acharyas are translating that like that. It is referring to Dhritarashtra, and Sanjaya is referring to Dhritarashtra, and Dhritarashtra brought about the whole calamity of their own dynasty, the entire dynasty, including their son, 100 sons, everything. So that is the significance of that word, Prithivipate.
Very good point. So slokas at 12 to 13. So Krishna blew the council, and 14 sloka are Krishna Arjuna. So we talked about that one. There's councils of Divya, and the names 15 and 16 slokas. Apart from that, we have some names are there here. Tushikesa, that Nataraja explained. So he's a controller of all our senses. And he blew the Panchajanya Kanchal. His name is the Panchajanya Kanchal. And Arjuna, how he got the Panchajanya Kanchal also, we have spread the story behind it. And Arjuna, Devadatta, Bhima, Poundran, and Yudhishthira, Ananta Vijaya, Nakula, Sughosha, and Sahadeva, Manipushpa. These are the names of the conchals that they have blown it. But when Kauravas have blown the conchals, so he has not given any kind of names. That means they are not important. Their sound is not like Divya. And also, one thing you remember here also is that blowing the conchals. So Kauravas, they are not that disciplined. Here, they are giving importance for Bhagavan, Krishna. When Krishna started blowing it, then other people have started that, and they are following one kind of melody. That's the reason is Divya Devi is talking about. But Kauravas, all the drums and all things, every time they were blowing, and it looks very horrible for the ears to hear all those things. So we should understand, practical way also. Then we are praying, connecting to God, and that will really be pleasing to everyone. Okay. And sloka 19. Naghosho saghosho datta-rashtanam hudayani vyadarayat nabhatsha prudhivi chaiva tumulobhyanunadayan.
The blowing of these different conchs became uproarious and thus vibrating both in the sky and on the earth, shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra.
Yeah, they started fearing. So Dhritarashtra's sons, the Kauravas, because their mentality is they will not please this kind of Divya Sankhas. So they don't know. They never heard about all these things. Even in our daily life also, we can see some people going to pubs and all these things. They may not understand this kind of spiritual sounds and all these things. They will not appreciate that. It looks to be very shattered for their heart. So that's what we understand. And the sloka 20. Oh, Nataraja, please read this one. Sloka.
Oh, you want me to read? 1 second, Prabhu. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. Ata vyastitan drishtva dadrashtran kapidvijah pravritte shastra sampate dhanur udyamya pandavah krishikesham tada vakyam idam aha mahipate. That is the word Krishikesha again. You will see this word a lot of times because Krishna is the controller of the senses.
If someone can read the translation.
Okay, at the
sorry
time.
to interrupt, Prabhu. So I have a question.
Yes.
So Prabhu, you were telling that Rishikesh is a census controller. So why it has been mentioned specifically there? Why the census controlling aspect is brought up there?
Prabhu, did you I don't know, I joined late, right? So did you had a chance to explain that chariot stuff yet? The five senses, horses, and all those things.
We are not explain that.
What?
We do not explain that.
Oh, you didn't explain that. Okay. Okay. So we have to do that, Prabhu. Maybe
Okay.
next class sometime.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
We'll get back to that question. Why census next class? Okay. There is a big.
Okay.
We have to. It takes a while to explain that.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a good question though. Okay.
Okay, here, translation somebody can read. Maybe Ravi, what two questions, maybe you can start reading that.
O king, at the time Arjuna, the son of Pandu, who was seated in his chariot, his flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. Looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra, O King Arjuna, then spoke to Rishikesh Krishna these words.
Yeah, now that Hanuman flag and all these things are coming out from the chariot. So there are two stories behind this one. So one is when Pandavas, they went for a forest, you can say Vanavasa, we can say, they went for that one. At that time, um, Bhima went to get the flower that Draupadi wanted. On the way, so Hanuman was there, and he was not able to lift Hanuman in a different, means a very like a different person, like very old, like a person, and Bhima did not identify him. So with his anger and all those things, why are you objecting me? So why are you coming as a hurdle to me while in my path? And with that, Hanuma, so finally he realized that he is also Vayuputra. So Bhima is also Vayuputra. So then Hanuma said that when the war happens, I will be standing at the Arjuna's flag. That's what he has given the vow on that. And one more story is the last time we said Dhananjaya for Arjuna. So when Dharmaraj was doing that Rajsu Yajna, at that time, so they need a lot of money. Arjuna went to different places and he came to the Kanyakumari, that the South Indian part of it, the place also. So then he thought, why Sri Ramji in a Treta Yuga? So they built they built a Bharati to connect to Sri Lanka from the India to Sri Lanka. They put with the stones, they made a bridge for it. Why can't he could have tried with the arrows? Why he has not done that? Arjuna is a warrior, no? So he said you can do it by arrows. You can put a bridge so that people can walk it and reach to Sri Lanka. It's a simple thing. So why he has done with the stones and with the help of all the monkeys, and he has done that. He was thinking that way. At that time, so Hanuman also came there. By listening this, Hanuman appeared there. So then Hanuman said, that is not possible. Building a bridge with arrows is not possible at all. That's what Hanuman said. So then Arjuna, it is a proudy thing, ego. He said, I can build it right now. I can show you. I can build the bridge and you can do that. And Hanuman said, but you can build it, but we cannot walk on that. The moment we step it will fall down. That the Hanuman said that the same thing like that. And Arjuna said, challenged, okay, I will do it. He a challenge to me. I will do it. So if I am not able to do the bridge that is walkable and we can reach to Sri Lanka, so then I will do the Agni Pravesh. Means I will die. I'll put a fire and I'll die in that. That's what Arjuna did that. As I said to Hanuman. Hanuman said, okay, that's okay. So you start doing that. So I will test it. Once you are done, let me know. I will do the test on that. So meanwhile, Hanuman was doing the chanting about Ram, 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 like that. He was chanting it. And Arjuna made a bridge from Kanyakumari to the Sri Lanka. Everything is ready. Once it is ready, Arjuna said, Hanuman, everything is ready. Please step on that. I don't need to step on that. Just my tail is sufficient. Just I put the tail, it will break. It will fall down. That I am sure about it, he said. And then, okay, he put a small piece of a tail on that, a tail on his tail on that. Then the bridge just collapsed completely. Then Hanuman was laughing. So then Arjuna, I don't know what happened to this one bridge, and I challenged now what to do. So as per the agreement, he has to put a fire and he has to so he has to die in that fire. Sacrifice his life in that. Sacrifice his life in that. Okay. So at that time, he was putting all the for fire and all these things about to step in. At that time, Sri Krishna appeared there. He said, "What are you doing? Because this is the agreement, and based on that, I lost my sitting and I'm dying myself. I'm sacrificing myself to death. I'm put a fire and all this." He was explaining to Krishna. Then Krishna said, for any kind of challenge, there should be some kind of witness is required. You people are challenging each other, and is there any witness? There is no one. Now, as a third person, I came now. Okay, so I am the witness. Just do it again. Construct the bridge again. If it really collapses, then as per the agreement, you can fire yourself. That's what Krishna said. Then Arjuna, he had already experienced. He was not thinking about Krishna or anything, Bhagavan at that time. He has the proud and ego. So with that, he built it. So that is the reason it collapsed. Now, with the thinking of Krishna did not come like that. Just he came as like a Brahmana boy. And so came like that. So now Arjuna thinking about Krishna, and then so let it be successful now. Some witness is there now. Then he made the bridge. Then Hanuman, this time, he was so proud. He became so proud now. Because anyway, one time he proved that he is not able to build the bridge which is suitable for his tail to at least to place on the bridge. And he built again, so he is not going to win. So then Hanuman, once the bridge is ready, Hanuman tried his tail again. So it is able to withstand, and he walked on that. He jumped on that bridge. Nothing happened. Then then Hanuman was surprised. What happened to him? And what happened here is, in the first time when Arjuna was building the bridge, Hanuman was chanting the name of Ram, Ram, Ram. And the second time, and at that time, Arjuna was his ego and the proudy and all these things. So that's the reason it's not Arjuna was not successful at that time. And the second time when he built, he was thinking about Bhagavan, Arjuna, and Hanuman was not thinking about Ram because he became a bit proud on that. So that's the reason. So he was able to win, and Krishna saved him. That is the Bhakta Vatsala, that part we are discussing in that chapter 1. Krishna, every step of that devotees, he will come and he was saving all the devotees like that. That's what I would like to say. Then Hanuman, he has given they promised to the Arjuna saying that whenever that Kurukshetra war happens, I'll be staying with you and I'll make the victory. Because why Hanuma victory? In that sense, Hanuma has given the victory for Sri Ram in the Treta Yuga by supporting him. So whenever Hanuma is there, definitely there is victory on that. That's the reason I'll stay. I may not be physically present there, but I'll be staying at the flag. We put my flag there, so he'll be victorious. That's the Hanuma flag we see in the chariot of Arjuna. So these are the different signs of victory. That's what we discussed till 20th sloka. Krishna's personal presence, the God himself is present there. And then goddess of fortune, so Madhava, one word we talked about. Goddess of fortune, that is there. So whenever goddess of fortune is there, definitely it is going to be victorious for the people. And the venue is Kurukshetra, is a holy place, Dharmakshetra. So whoever is following Dharma, so they are going to win. That's what in the Deepavali, that slides also we have shown that it's a war between Dharma and Adharma, war between good and bad. So that's how we'll celebrate it. So, and then Hanumanji on the Arjuna's flag, that's what we discussed, the two stories behind that. And the symbol of Vishnu and conch shell, that itself represents Vishnu on that. And they are Divya, it's a transcendental they are. Okay, and Bhishma's conscience to pacify Duryodhana, that's to satisfy Duryodhana, that's what he blown it, different concepts he is explaining it. And Agnideva, chariot, as Natarajan Prabhu said, so they got from Agnideva, that chariot. So Hanuman flag, that is a flag is there, and chariot given by Agnideva. And all these 5 horses are nothing but 5 senses. That's what in the next class we'll discuss about that one. And then shattering of hearts. So for all the Kauravas, so their heart is, so they are not able to accept this divine nature of sounds. Okay. With this, we'll end the class today. So 20th sloka, that means we covered the Vijay Sanketa, means victory signs for the Pandavas. So any doubts are there, we clarify it. Otherwise, we go for Damodar Ashtakam and do it for 10 minutes. Okay. So this is Damodar month, and better do that for Damodar Ashtakam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, why is that Bhishma's conch shell victory of sign in last slide? Sign of victory in number 7, point number 7.
This is indirectly indicated by Bhishma and Pandava's conscience. So there is no Divya in that, the Bhishma's conscience. It is like a lion. So that's what it indicates. Whenever it's connected with Bhagavan, that means a spiritual thing is there, then only victory will be there. That's what it indicates.
So that means it is the opposite of
Yes, yes.
victory.
No, Prabhu, one more explanation to that is like, see, when Bhishma blew his conch shell, he was in great joy, that we saw. The thing is, he want to show Duryodhana that he is on his side and he's really pumped up. Okay, so he want to drive away the fear of Duryodhana, who was like coming to him and asking him, what are we going to do? What are our plans and things like that. So when he blew his conch shell, he showed Duryodhana that yes, we are really ready for fighting and we are all covered up. Okay, so that is, he was driving away the fear of Duryodhana. That was the problem. That was the explanation of the Acharyas.
But why it is a sign of victory for Pandavas?
Where does it say it's a sign of victory for Pandavas?
No, that is not Divya.
Yeah.
So whenever it is not connected with the Bhagavan, it's not going to win.
Yeah, so I got the point. Like it is kind of, it is not helping to win. So it is showing that they will be defeated. That's what.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, bro.
Any questions? And also one more thing I would like to ask you, all of you, will be at the end of the chapter, we'll be doing some kind of drama that covers all the points that we discussed. It's about 20 to 25 minutes of drama. We'll prepare it. Maybe any number of people can participate in that. It's a discussion about how what is the main content of chapter 1. So because you are listening now, so you may forget all these things. So in a drama wise, if you listen, if you can listen, that will really give you, and you don't need to refer the book also. That's what we're trying to prepare it. And we are very successful in that, in Telugu kind of thing, and drama and all this. For every end of the chapter, we do that. So I really wanted who has the acting skills. So at least any number of people can participate. Give your names in the chat so that we can start preparation on that. Especially this long weekend, we have it now. We can start some groundwork on that. Is that idea good? What do you think about this idea? Having a drama at the end of the chapter. Maybe if you want, you can type also. Okay. We'll go for Damodarashtakam now. It takes 10 minutes. And after that, we can. Namamishwaram Sachitanandarupam Dasakundalam Gokule Brajamanam Namamishwaram Sachitanandarupam Dasakundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yasodabhiyo Lokalabhavamanam Paramushtamacham Tato Drutya Bhoga Yasodabhiyo Lokalabhavamanam Paramushtamacham Tato Drutya Bhoga Rudantam Muhurnetra Yukmam Rujantam Karambhujayukmena Shatankanetam Rudantam Muhurnetra Yukmam Rujantam Karambhujayukmena Shatankanetam Muhuswasakam Patrirekantakanta Idagdaivam Namodaram Sankadrirekantakanta Idagdaivam Namodaram Bhaktipadam Iti Druksvalilabhirananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajjam Tamatyapayam Iti Druksvalilabhirananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajjam Tamatyapayam Tadiyeshitagneshu Bhartasitatvam Punaprematastam Shadavuttivam Tadiyeshitagneshu Bhartasitatvam Punaprematastam Shadavuttivam Varandeva Moksham Namokshavadim Va Nachanyam Guneham Vareshadapi Varandeva Moksham Namokshavadim Va Nachanyam idante vapurnadhatotalabalam sadami manasya virastam kimanye idante vapurnadhatotalabalam sadami manasya virastam kimanye idante mukambojamachyantanilai pratam kuntalai snigdharattai chakopa idante mukambojamachyantanilai pratam kuntalai snigdharattai chakopa mochumbitam bimbaraktadaram me manasya virastam malam narchalai मोचम्बितं बिम्बरकादरं मे मनस्य विरास्तं नरं नमो देवदामोदरानन्तविष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालभिना नमो देवदामोदरानन्तविष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजालभिना दृष्टिवृष्ट्यादिदीनं ददानो गणेश मामज्ञमे चक्षिषोऽस्य कृपादृष्टिवृष्ट्यादिदीनं ददानो गणेश मामज्ञमे चक्षिदृश्य कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमोर्वैभयद्वा स्वयमोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमोर्वैभयद्वा स्वयमोचितौ भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकां मे प्रयच्छ नमोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थितामोदरेह तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकां मे प्रयच्छ नमोक्षे ग्रहो मे स्थितामोदरेह नमस्ते स्तुधाम्ने पुरादीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमस्ते स्तुधाम्ने पुरादीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदराय विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो नन्दनीलाय देवाय नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो नन्दनीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियायै नमो नन्दनीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नममीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं रसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भजमानम् रसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले भजमानम् Translation somebody can read.
To the Supreme Controller, who possesses an eternal form of blissful knowledge, whose glistening earnings swing to and fro, who manifested himself in Gokula, who stole the butter that the gopis kept hanging from the rafter of their storerooms, and who then quickly jumped up and ran in retreat in fear of Mother Yasoda, what was ultimately caught to that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances. Upon seeing his mother's whipping stick, he cried and rubbed his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes were fearful and his breathing quick, and as Mother Yasoda bound his belly with ropes, he shivered in fright and his pearl necklace soaked. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances.
Next.
Those super excellent pastimes of Lord Krishna's babyhood drowned in the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, To the devotees who are attracted only to his majestic aspect of Narayana in Vaikunt, the Lord herein reveals, I am conquered and overwhelmed by pure loving devotion. To the Supreme Lord Damodara, my obeisances, and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for liberation, nor eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon. My only prayer is that your childhood pastimes may constantly appear in my mind. O Lord, I do not even want to know your feature of Paramatma. I simply wish that your childhood pastimes may ever be enacted in my heart. O
O
Lord,
Lord, the cheeks of your blackish lotus face, which is encircled by locks of curling hair, have become reddened with like bimba fruits due to Mother Yashoda's kisses. What more can I describe that than this? Millions of opulence are of no use to me, but this vision constantly remains in my mind. O unlimited Vishnu, O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. I am drowning in an ocean of sorrow and am almost like a dead man. Please shower the rain of mercy on me, uplift me, and protect me with your nectarine vision.
Cinema.
O Lord Damodara, in your form as a baby mother Yashoda bound you to a grinding stone with a rope of tying cows. You then freed the sons of Kuvera, Manigriv, and Nal Kuvera, who were cursed to stand as trees, and you gave them the chance to become your devotees. Please bless me in the same way. I have no desire for liberation into your effulgence.
O Lord, the entire universe was created by Lord Brahma, who was born from your abdomen, which was bound with a rope by Mother Yasoda. To this rope I offer my humble obeisances. I offer my obeisances to your most beloved Srimati Radharani and to your unlimited pastime.
Sri Radha Damodar ki.
Jai.
Jai.
So we'll see next week at the same time.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, can I talk to you for a minute? Actually, I joined new, so can I just stay?
So Prabhu.
Sure. Yeah.